Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I hope you're well. So today you join me out on location and in this wonderful scene. We got the morning light just raising up behind us, which is blowing out the sky just how we love it. Oh no, we don't. We don't like blown out skies, do we? Yeah. Anyway, I'm the main subject, so that's the main thing that's important. We always want our subject to be the right exposure. So yeah, in this video I want to talk to you about how to improve your photography within 60 seconds. I probably could even be 30 seconds, but 60 seconds sounds better for the title. Now this is not clickbait, this is nothing, this isn't going to waste your time, and hopefully you'll actually find it really beneficial for you. So how to improve your photography in 60 seconds. This is more so for those of you who are struggling with your photography, struggling with direction, struggling with your creativity, and you just want to get away from that, and you want to develop, and you want to mature as an artist, mature in a really good way, like a fine wine or a nice I was going to say chocolate, but I don't think chocolate gets better with age. I think it actually gets worse. Or like a nice cheese or something. So, yeah. Just think about mouldy chocolate now. Off chocolate. The white stuff. Yeah, or mouldy bread. No, that's even worse. No, that's worse. You can't eat mouldy bread. Oh my God, what's going on? Anyway, yeah, so how to improve your photography in 60 seconds. I've got a couple of questions to ask you. You know, when you're feeling down, when you're maybe out on location, you're not feeling it, or you know your photography in general, and you just sit down and you're feeling like this. And what I want you to do is ask yourself, why am I not enjoying this? Why am I not liking this? And then try and think of some phrases, or think of not phrases, think of some things that pop into your head. Maybe it could be it's not the right subject, you're not enjoying it like you used to do. You know, I used to be a motorsports photographer, but I never really enjoyed it because after quite a few years, because it was starting to lose its thrill. It wasn't as exciting as it once used to be, and I was doing it so much, I was doing the same thing over and over again, that I was just shooting it for the heck of shooting it. Sure, I was trying to mix it up and be more and more creative, but I was reaching a point with my photography where I just couldn't go any further. I was really struggling, and this was getting me down, and I was getting depressed, and I was thinking about automotive photography, but then it wasn't really something that I was interested in. And I thought, you know what, I'll probably just end it and not do any more photography. But then that's where I got into my landscape side of things. And the landscape photography is hard, is very hard. You know, I know a lot of people who struggle with it. You know, we go out with groups and we think we're going to develop better, we're going to improve our skills when we're in a group. But the problem with the group stuff, you start to think as a group, instead of thinking broad range, you start to bring everything together and just focus on this small little thing. At least that's my understanding, that's my philosophy behind it, because I've actually done some group stuff before where I've attended little meetups and stuff, but yeah, well, it just wasn't for me. So what I do and what I recommend is, when you're feeling like this, either if you're not used to being out in a group, go out with a group. Go out of your comfort zone and do something with a group. You'll probably start to view things in a different way. That's why sometimes I do the group stuff, just so I view things in a different way. Go to different places where I wouldn't usually go to. But if you're someone who normally likes to go out and socialise and you do group stuff, but you're still struggling, go out in your own, you know, and go to places where you wouldn't normally do, or photograph something different for a change. Go completely out of your comfort zone. So maybe you, I'm trying to think of completely different styles. I've got one person, a few friends, let's just say wildlife photography. and you're getting a bit stale on that, and you're not sure what to do and how to improve on there, and you're not feeling it anymore, go and do something completely different. Do a bit of street photography, do a bit of landscapes, something which makes you think and processes the scene in a different way, and gets your eye to look at subjects in a different manner. Street photography isn't for everyone. I'm definitely not like that. It is hard, but I do have the experience over the years of photography and knowing what I can do and what I can't do, more from the legal side of things. But yeah, so yeah, if you're not enjoying it, and also it can be down to the gear you're using. So if you don't enjoy the gear you're using, that can be a thing as well. So, you know, and that's why I've actually got a multiple of cameras. So currently I've got my M50 here, which is more my really lightweight setup, which I use for my videos. I've got my new Canon camera, my Canon 5D Mark IV. Then I've also got a Canon 6D, which is just a backup. I've got another M50, which is currently being converted to infrared. Probably by the time this video goes up, I might have that camera back, and then I'll be doing some infrared photography. I've also got my film cameras. So I've got my 35mm film camera, and I've also got my medium format film camera. All different formats to shoot on. But it's not just the format, you know, it's not just the sensor. It's not about just the recording format, it's about the camera you're using. Because each camera, you work differently with it, you know, it has a different experience. It's not just about taking a photo, it's that lead up to taking that photo. It's setting the camera up, it's putting the lens on, it's taking that lens cap off, putting your filters on if you're going to use any filters, and framing up your composition. And then, you know, with the film camera, popping up the viewfinder, you know, the waist level viewfinder, and looking down. That's all a part of it. But I find with some cameras, it can become so, the camera does so much for you that you forget about the photography, but the camera does it for you, if that makes sense. So you don't have this connection with the photography like you do with some other aspects, which is why I like when a camera allows you, makes you work for an image, if that makes sense. So you could set your camera up on auto and it takes a photo, or you could set your camera up in manual and control that scene. You know, there's two different ways of doing it, and me personally, I like the manual way of doing things, and really working towards it. Also, if you're not used to going out and camping, if you're a landscape photographer and getting out in the thick of it, go do a bit of camping. Load up your car with what you need, head out for a day, head out for the evening, and then come back the next day, and you'll feel different. You might feel a little bit depressed or something, or you might feel really happy about what you've achieved. But just focus on little things, and also give yourself a mental health check every week or so. Just see how you're doing. Like myself, if I am going through if I'm feeling a bit depressed, I'll ask myself, well, why am I feeling like this? How can I change it? Or if I'm feeling happy, I'll go, well, why am I feeling happy? You know, what's changed to make me feel this way? And then I'll be able to be alert of it, be more aware of it, and being able to apply that to different. I'll be able to notice it more, and it is actually working. So yeah, to improve your photography, use a different format. Go out and buy a film camera. You can pick them up pretty cheap. Film is a little expensive. Film is a bit expensive to get developed, but it's not just about the cost. It's the main reason you're doing it is a different medium, different way of photographing, a different way of photography. The amount that you can process a film photo is very different. You rely on the characteristics of that certain film, where with digital it could be anything. You could do black and white with film, I guess, but you could do black and white. You could really pull those shadows, you could pull those highlights down, you can really change that exposure. You can there's so much you can do with film, with digital, where film is just more restrictive, but it's really in a nice way. There's been times when I've been out on this trip, or the trip where I was when I went out to Yen Yening Lakes, and on my last videos, and where I'm actually, this is actually where I've done my last video when I was out on location, and I just wanted to do the video here because it's just really nice. Yeah, and I was just thinking, I really wish I had my film camera. I was really thinking about different types of film because I was primarily just going to shoot in black and white. But after seeing the location, I'm thinking, well, maybe some Velvia would be really nice, and Portra 400 and all different. Yeah, it would be quite nice. So yeah, there's a lot of things to come, but yeah. So yeah, just and also one last bit. Don't be so hard on yourself. I know it's very hard as artists, as creators. We put a lot of pressure on our shoulders to do better each time, or to create, or yeah. And also what you can also do is, if you're finding it overwhelming, you're surrounded by a lot of people, cut yourself away from those people and just go out and take photos because you love taking photos, you know, and regenerate that spark in you that is once sort of, or that fire that was once big is now small, and it's just like flicker. It's just on its last legs. But what you don't want is that little light to go out completely. That little flame, you want to go out and bring it back to life and make it grow. Yeah, I'm trying to do these analogies and trying to think, but it's also how I would, yeah, it's just me and how I'm thinking. Yeah, so I can try and connect with you as well, because it can be tough. It is very tough. I've had times, multiple times over these years. You know, I've been doing photography for 30 years. I started when or almost 30 years. It'd be 29 years actually at the moment. I started when I was 4. But over those years, I had a film camera. I wasn't sure, you know, I fell out I fell out of photography. So I hated photography. Then I came back into it and I loved it. And it's sort of that love-hate relationship with photography. And I think the thing that keeps me going is, one, I don't want to give up, but the main thing is I love to create. And yeah, things get hard, but things also do improve. But anyway, I'm going to head back to my car, have some breakfast, set up my solar panel, and start going back home today. But yeah, remember, look after yourself. Don't compare yourself to others. Photography, having this camera in your hand, I was going to grab my camera, having your camera with you, it's not about the gear, it's not about the specifications of your gear, it's not about how people view you for what gear you use. You know, a funny thing about that is, when you've got an entry-level camera and you go along and people have got more pro-level cameras, you get sort of like picked on for having the entry-level crappy system. But the weird thing is, when I had like my Hasselblad, my medium format, my high-end stuff, and I met up with photographers who consider their cameras to be high-end before they met me, I felt like they were angry or aggressive towards me because I had a nicer camera than them. Yeah, you get this sort of thing, and also as professional photographers, the more experience you get, you feel like you sort of become more distant from people. Well, some galahs just flew overhead. Yeah, you become more distant from people, and yeah, you don't feel like you can gel. But with me, what I like to do is, everyone, no matter your skill level, we're all equals. We're doing it for the same reasons, and we all love photography. We create things, we see things in a different way. You know, there's times I'm struggling with a location where I can't see anything, but someone who's a beginner can see it in a completely different way. They've got a completely different mindset. They've got a fresh imagination, and seeing how they see it can be quite inspiring as well. But yeah, I said about the gear, so yeah, don't worry about gear. You know, I've got a variety of cameras. I've got medium format film. I was going to say digital, that's gone. Medium format. I've got entry level cameras. I've got pro level cameras. Yeah, so don't get into that battle. Just enjoy with what you're using. Don't compare. And yeah, that's probably my best thing. Been a bit of a long one, but yeah, the best thing is just to evaluate where you are with your photography, why you're not liking it, and then implement change so you can be enjoying it. And yeah, you'll be like me, getting out there and enjoying it. But yeah, there was a video I done last as well where I had a horrible afternoon where we had really soft conditions, and then this morning when I recorded this video before I done this one, we had the lovely light, so it just changed overnight. So in a matter of 12 hours, which is fantastic. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to end this video because I think I've said enough. I don't need to say any more. I think I've probably said too much, but it was more like a bit of a sit down chat and talk about this sort of thing, because it is something that is quite a topical subject and something that has come up quite often. But anyway, I'll let you be. If you'd like to see more videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you've liked this channel, be sure to hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. And if you'd like to ask me anything or say anything, pop it down in the comment section and I'll do my very best to get back to you. Anyway, I'm Simon and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye for now.